Hello, and today we are going to be completing Lesson 2.4, Layers of the Atmosphere. Please make sure that you are taking notes in your online science notebook. We are going to focus on the layers of the atmosphere, and the first layer we are going to talk about is the troposphere. It starts off at Earth's surface and goes to about 10 kilometers in altitude. It is the lowest layer of the atmosphere, and this is where all of Earth's weather occurs. As you go up in altitude in the troposphere, the temperature does get cooler, it does decrease. The troposphere does contain 99% of the atmospheric water. So 99% of the water found in the atmosphere can be found in the troposphere. And then most planes fly here. The top of the troposphere is called the tropopause. The stratosphere extends from 10 kilometers to 50 kilometers above Earth's surface. It is found directly above the troposphere. It contains the ozone layer, and the ozone layer absorbs harmful UV radiation that the sun produces. If we did not have the ozone layer, life on Earth would not be able to exist because of the harmful UV radiation destroying DNA. Some airplanes, particularly supersonic airplanes, are capable of flying in the stratosphere. Weather balloons can reach this layer around 39 kilometers above Earth's surface. Even though weather does not occur in this layer, it's still important to study. And weather balloons are a tool that we can use to study the stratosphere. As you increase in altitude in the stratosphere, the temperature does increase as well. And the top of the stratosphere, shockingly enough, is called the stratopause. One interesting fact about the stratosphere is that in 2012, a daredevil named Felix Baumgartner did a free fall jump from 39 kilometers above Earth's surface. If you type in his name, then you can watch the whole video of him jumping. It's actually really fascinating, and I have two pictures over to the right of him just before he is about to jump, and he is wearing what looks like a spacesuit, and it is a pressurized suit because he is so far up in Earth's atmosphere, just in the stratosphere, that there's not enough oxygen for him to be able to breathe and survive. I can't remember specifically how long it took him to float up there, but he did float up by a weather balloon in that little metal pod. It's a really interesting watch. I do recommend it, but he does set the world record for the highest free fall jump. And he fell 39 kilometers to Earth's surface, and he landed on his feet after deploying his parachute. It's truly amazing. The next layer is the mesosphere. The mesosphere extends 50 kilometers to around 85 kilometers above Earth's surface. The mesosphere is the middle layer of the atmosphere, and one way you can remember that is meso means middle, and they both start with the letter M. Speaking of the letter M, another thing that happens in the mesosphere is meteors burn up in this layer. So when you look up and you see a meteor shower, those meteors are typically being burnt up in the mesosphere. The mesosphere does have temperature decrease in it, and it becomes the coldest layer of the atmosphere. And finally, the top of the mesosphere is called the mesopause. The thermosphere is the next layer. It's the fourth layer of the atmosphere. It extends from 85 kilometers to around 600 kilometers above Earth's surface. Temperatures increase as you go up in altitude. The thermosphere is the hottest layer of the atmosphere. The International Space Station is also the International Space Station can be found in the thermosphere. If you've ever heard of the Northern Lights, or the Aurora Borealis is the official term, that is where these occur. So the thermosphere is where the Aurora Borealis and the Northern Lights occur. And shockingly enough, the top of the thermosphere is called the thermopause. Now, inside the thermosphere and the mesosphere is a sublayer called the ionosphere. What happens in the ionosphere is solar radiation ionizes atoms to create a layer of electrons. When I say ionizes, basically it means to knock electrons free. The ionosphere reflects and modifies radio waves that are used for communication and navigation. So humans have been able to use the ionosphere, and we do rely on it a little bit. And there are 3 different layers or regions of the ionosphere. You have the D layer, the E layer, and the F layer. And you can see where each of those are located at on the graphic to the right. The 5th and final layer of the atmosphere is the exosphere. The way I remember this one is exit. You need to know that it is the last layer of the atmosphere. It extends from 600 to roughly 10,000 kilometers above Earth's surface. As you go up in altitude in the exosphere, the temperature decreases, and the exosphere is also the largest layer of the atmosphere. Over on the right-hand side, you will see a scale of the atmosphere to show you the size of each layer. So you can see down at the very bottom in the right-hand corner, you can see the troposphere, very, very thin. Then above that, you see the stratosphere. I'm sorry, you guys can't see it. Now you can. You can see the troposphere in the right-hand corner, then the stratosphere, and then above that, the mesosphere, and all 3 of those layers are relatively thin. And then above that, you see the thermosphere, and that's a relatively large layer. But the layer that is most astounding is the exosphere. The exosphere here, and you can see the little note, this is actually not large enough. The real exosphere is another 12 times larger than this. So take that and multiply that by 12. And that's how large the exosphere is compared to the other layers of the atmosphere. It is truly amazing. What you need to do now is you need to read the Layers of the Atmosphere article found on Canvas, and you will need to review the expectations for the Layers of the Atmosphere project that you will begin tomorrow. The final thing that I would like you to do is have a great rest of your day.